right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of Multipoptural, the hardest to pronounce pop culture podcast on the planet. In studio today, we have myself, Jerry, jtimber guest spot today, and the one and only Ash, a.k.a. Michael Tourek from Ozark fame, joining us in studio. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. One and only. I am. I don't have any brothers or sisters.
Very own.
So. Only the most illustrious guests.
This is it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mike. So if you can, just give us a little bit of your backstory, like, how you got into acting, the whole 9 yards.
That sure. Kind of yeah. Of course. I got to tell you, the more and more I do things like this, I try to change the story every time. It just makes it more interesting for me as an actor. But
which one is real?
It is. I'm very delusional in my beliefs. So today,
this is the person I am.
I like
this week's story. It's going to be growing up, I tried everything as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Played a little bit of sports, this, that, and the other thing. I had a paper out once, which failed terribly. But acting was always the thing that I kept coming back to.
All right.
Moved to New York, struggled in New York, moved to North Carolina, and then things just really kind of went crazy. And so went to college a little late for just to have a degree because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But again, just always kept coming back to,
it's all good.
Kept coming back to.
You can break whatever you want.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Robert's staring at me.
I just kept coming back to acting because it's just like as cheesy as it sounds, it's the one thing that sort of just kept fueling me.
Yeah.
And
that's what you're passionate about.
And the move from New York to North Carolina was the greatest thing that ever happened. Who knew that you could move down here and start out, next to nothing,
right?
And for lack of develop somewhat of a modest career,
Right.
And so I'm very thankful to be here and very thankful to be here today. And well, I don't know that I answered that question worth a shit. But,
no, it's all good.
So yes, I went to Yale.
Okay.
No, I didn't really.
I was like,
shit.
dang.
So no, I'm a
What are you talking to us for?
I'm a UNCG grad.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Martins.
Yeah,
That's
I was acting long before I went to UNCG, but I thought, man, I don't want to be a bartender anymore. No disrespect to bartenders.
Preaching in the choir.
I stopped 2 years ago. Yeah.
And so I went to get a degree thinking that I would teach this thing that I do. And then I went and got another degree so I could teach on a higher level this thing that I do. But yet I still just do this thing that I do. Thank you, Tom Hanks. And so it's good. It's good. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, about Ozark, how did that whole process go as far as the audition, meeting Jason Bateman? Like, tell us a little bit about that process.
Sure. I really love that story, actually, both just from an acting perspective.
Is this the real story?
This is the real story, yes.
Real story.
As an acting perspective and also as a pedagogical perspective. That's a big word, y'all know, teaching.
Look that shit up.
From a teaching perspective, because when I first auditioned for Ozark, I had auditioned for 2 other roles that I didn't get. I auditioned for those of you that have seen the show, Bobby Dean, the strip club owner, and I auditioned for the Langmore brother with the big thick beard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. Gotcha.
Russ Langmore, right?
Langmore.
His name, Mark Menchaca and Adam Boyer play those 2 roles, and they're amazing, and they're the sweetest guys in the world. But, so I didn't book it, and that was totally fine. Well, let me rewind a bit further. I did a movie called Office Christmas Party.
Yes.
Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston, not Laura Linney, she's in Ozark, Olivia Munn, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm on set the whole time with the people from Office Christmas Party. But I'm with Jillian Bell and all these amazing, TJ Miller and these amazing sort of comedians. Yeah. But Jason Bateman is always there before me, right? So we would cross on set, like we'd be going to the same location. It's just the way it worked, and so we would always see each other. And hi, he's very cordial, loves his kids, family man, loves the Dodgers. We talked baseball. Long story short, too late. My last day on set was the day we actually got to shoot the scene where Jennifer Aniston beats me up, and Jason Bateman and I have a little scene together.
Right.
And at the very end, we were walking back to our trailers, and we were just talking, and I said, hey, I understand that you're going to be in Atlanta for a while. You're shooting this show called Ozark. And he's like, yep, I am. And we talked about that. Fast forward a few months now, and I'm in a classroom teaching an acting class, and I get a phone call from my agent that says, we just got an audition for you that needs to be in like 2 hours.
Oh, shit.
Last minute kind of thing.
No pressure.
Class dismissed.
No, literally. Kind of, I was like,
Bring in the TV.
That's
We got real life going on here.
I was like, okay. And no, I did. I mean, I pulled it up on the computer and I was like, okay, let's look at this. And we analyzed the script together. Wow. And I looked at it and I ran over to the studio where I record all of my auditions and I recorded it. And it was for the role of Ash. Mm-hmm. And I had already taped for
the other
two, right?
The other two characters, yes. And again, even long story shorter, still too late. He saw the tape, and that was it. And it was because of my time on Office Christmas Party with him.
Yeah,
you just happened to ask him about it.
Yeah.
That they were like, he's like, yeah, this is the guy that we want. And
Nice.
then when I actually met him on the set of Ozark, he was just like, hey man.
What's up, dude? Good
to see you again, bro. High five. I was like, how you doing, brother? Welcome back. Looking
Welcome
forward to
back.
it. Yeah, and so it was a pretty, it just, I mean, it made me feel really good. I was sitting on my chairs in the room working with Peter Mullins and Lisa Emery, and we're hanging out, and all of a sudden I'm in my chair, and he literally comes up and smacks me on the leg, and he's not working that day, but as the EP, executive producer,
right.
He's always around,
Yeah.
and he's gives me a
chill.
hug. Welcome to the set.
Whoa.
So glad we're working together.
Awesome.
And I was like, I called my wife.
made it.
I grabbed my phone. I was like, you won't believe what just happened. Jason Bateman just came up and put his hand on my shoulder and said, thank you
slapped my
for your
leg.
work. And it was, man, it made me feel really good.
That's awesome.
The guy from Teen Wolf 2 likes me.
Yes. Silver spoons, man.
That's right. Oh my goodness, that is
What a
really
great
good
story.
I was like, that better be real. We're gonna double check that for your other.
You can
sets.
double check that, yes. I'll have Bateman's people call your people. Confirm it with my people.
Like I said, as fans of the show, we love the scenes that you're in. Our only complaint is Ash didn't have that many lines this season. So, just as far as season 2 coming up, I know you can't spoil too much, but do you get more lines? And what can we also expect coming into season 2 for Ozark? Or is that spoiling it? Spoiling it, the spoilers.
No,
What happened?
They're going to kill him in the premiere episode.
Oh, God. Don't say that. You hush your mouth.
Okay.
I have a couple of scenes in
a thing.
spread throughout, and I don't, it comes out in a week. Hey, what's up over there looking? What can you expect? You can expect more of the same.
Okay.
You can expect it sort of going to the next level of craziness.
Okay. Yeah, because there was a lot of that.
There was a lot of crazy and unexpected crazy, and they really. Let me just say this: look, as a fan of the show, equally, right, and then also as a cast member of the show. To be honest with you, I only see the episodes that I'm in.
Right. I got
Every
you.
now and again, if I'm lucky, or I'm there at the crossover where they're switching from doing, say, episodes 1 and 2 to 3 and 4.
Sure.
I may grab a script.
Yeah.
I may ask the makeup, because you can get all the gossip you want from the makeup trailer.
Yeah, yeah,
I may
that's
ask the makeup women. I'm like, hey, can I take a peek?
Okay, yeah, I got you right there.
And then there were even times during episode 1, during season 1, where I would be sitting in the makeup trailer, and the makeup women would go, hey, we'll see you in a couple weeks. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, we just got the outline for episode 8. You're in it.
They know the schedule better than anybody.
I'm in it. Woohoo! I'm in the next episode. So some of that at the level that I'm working at currently, sometimes I don't ever find out till the day.
I got you.
I get to honestly can say I get to be as equally excited about enjoying the show for the first time as you all do as fans.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I know what my involvement is, and I think that we'll just leave it at that.
I got you.
We'll take it.
Don't want you getting sued or getting Jason Bateman mad.
Oh, I just don't want to worry it. And no, he won't be mad. JB, we won't be
JB's
mad.
Big shout out to
man.
JB. Oh, we're on that.
Yeah,
too.
man,
I love it.
That's my boy. That's what everybody called him. That's
Yeah?
JB.
Him and I would be
Go
good
by.
friends.
That's his name.
You usually have to pay double for that
JT,
action,
and
Cotton.
JB, we should start a TV show.
Yeah.
Jason.
We'll call it the Hogan family. Oh, wait, they did that already.
That's my girl. What up, Jess?
And now, a word from our sponsors.
We'd like to take the time to thank one of our sponsors, Andrew Newman, attorney at law. Located here in Greensboro, North Carolina, he can assist you with your criminal as well as traffic violations, and his practice includes Guilford, Forsyth, as well as all surrounding counties. To set up a free consultation, you can contact him at 336-663-2388, and you can also visit him on his website, attorneynewman.com. What questions do you guys have for Michael? I don't want to take over the whole show. I'm a humble host.
I had a couple. I was going to ask about the auditions, and you kind of already went over that. But I said, did you research the auditions yourself at first? Like you getting into the game at first, did you just like jump into a shit ton of auditions like on your own, or was it immediate agent getting you jobs, or?
I should be taking notes. Continue.
Like getting into
Here's my pen. Here.
getting into the game of acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I mean, there's a definite process to it, and there are stepping stones to sort of anybody's career, and it all starts in sort of an amateur, sort of community-based kind of thing, and local things, and kids just getting together and making movies and that sort of thing, and then you work your way up, and if you choose to go to a university setting or some sort of setting where there's training and they have a showcase. I mean, the ultimate goal is eventually to land an agent,
right?
And then that agent will get you the auditions,
right?
And it really is all about who are you as an individual, as well as what do you market,
right?
What do you bring?
What do you do?
But no, I mean, like really, that's just
do?
it. It's funny because I play, like, you look at something like Ozark, you look at something like Office Christmas Party, you look at something like Resurrection, you look at basically the package of my, small little career.
We look at your package, yeah.
Well, yes.
Zooming in.
It is.
It is getting hot.
Keep zooming. I play a lot of the same characters, but then, you meet me and you get to know me, and you're like, this guy's, he's chill, he's all about his kids, he loves his wife, he loves his family. You're not the badass, evil, I'm going to kill you with a spoon.
Didn't have that scowl.
But I think to answer your question is that there are like steps of a process that can get you to where you need to go.
Right.
And along the way, you need to trust those people that you have in your corner and that have gone before you to help you and mentor you in what you need to know to be in this profession. Or you can be walking out of a mall and go, hey, you look really cool. You want to be in this movie? And the next thing you know, you're...
That's what I'm praying for.
Every day.
That's why I got
life.
this vest. Like,
But that's just it. I mean, and so there's so many ways to go about it that there's just not one thing.
Right.
And
it's timing and exposure, really.
Yeah.
It is timing and exposure. And then I would also say that if it's something that you're really interested in, I think that my advice would be is to also honor it as the craft that it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Read plays, watch television,
the
go
work.
see movies, study,
Yeah.
Right.
ask questions,
Yeah.
take a class, take another class, take a class after that, and just expose yourself to as much of the theater / cinematic and television arts as you can.
Right.
And then just be ready for whatever happens and be open to accept whatever comes your way.
Right.
Oh, I'm open.
So it's interesting because I teach a lot of acting classes and acting for the camera classes, and a lot of these sort of younger generational, millennial, whatever, label you want to put on them, it's all about the instant fame through social media.
Right.
Screw that.
And whereas that has its value in a certain market,
but it really
it's
doesn't.
not.
That's not the end
It's
all.
not what we do.
longevity.
It's not
Right.
what I do, and it really does. I think if you can honor acting as a craft and just let it envelop you in what it has to offer,
You got to respect it.
Yeah, anything will
with
happen,
anything,
right?
yeah. That's awesome.
And then I also had a question. Who's your favorite? You've been on. You were on Ozark. You were on Suits, right? Like, who's
No, that's my nickname.
Yeah,
Suits.
that's a nickname.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wish I was on Suits. That's a pretty cool show, though. No, I wasn't on Suits. Sorry, but that's okay.
Hey, man. Well, who's your favorite co-star? Like, who's like the favorite person that you've been on screen with? How's that?
I don't know.
And is it anybody that we might know?
I got to tell you, I mean, one of the guys that I enjoyed the most ever just to hang out and work with was a guy named Leon Rippey.
Okay.
North Carolina actor, was in The Patriot. He had, I mean, if you looked at his face, if you look him up on IMDb, you'd be like, oh, I totally know who that dude is.
Right.
But he's
Guess
from
what we're all
North
doing right
Carolina.
now.
Do it.
He was but because of his roots, and we were shooting under the dome in Wilmington, he was just like, hey, what are you doing after this? Let's go back to my farm and hang out, and we'll fish, and we'll eat, and we'll barbecue. He was just a really cool cat.
Yeah.
And then I got to tell you, man, all aside, even though it's the most recent of my credits, Peter Mullan,
Oh my
who
God,
plays
he's so awesome.
Jacob Snell,
Yes.
who's a phenomenal actor,
Yeah.
is the He's the most laid back,
Not
great.
Leon Rippey.
That's Leon Rippey. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
He was
Okay.
in like
Shit.
a Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
thing,
Yep,
you know,
yep. Eight-legged freaks. Oh, I love that
But
movie.
Peter
And
Mullan,
Deadwood.
man, he was as equally a peer as he was a mentor, and I
Right.
really loved and respected that.
Yeah.
And
He's
he was
amazing.
And he was. There's something to be said about the person that has earned this level in their career,
Right.
that allows people to cater to that, but doesn't take advantage of it.
Right.
Right. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
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 Completely. It's totally like. Will you go? I'd love a cup of coffee. Like, was never
Right.
afraid to ask for what he wanted.
Right.
Because people were there to give him what he wanted
Sure.
because
Right.
he's Peter Mullan.
Right.
But
He
never,
wasn't flipping over tables and shit and being a diva.
Yeah, never took
Right.
advantage of it.
Right.
And then we just have these great conversations, and then you sit there and you just listen to him talk in his Scottish sort of Edinburgh dialect, and you're just like,
Right.
wow, dude, I could come hang out with you all day.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because
It's
he was
amazing.
in Westworld season 2.
Yeah,
right?
he is.
Oh, yeah, and I haven't seen that yet, so no spoilers.
I mean,
Same here. He's seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
it's not a big role.
No, a buddy of mine's in Westworld season 2 as well.
Yeah?
He plows one of the techs. Yeah, he's great. We grew up in Omaha together.
Shout
and he
out to
moved to
plowing the
LA, and I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. I'm still trying to finish season 1. Sorry.
It's all right. I haven't gotten into it yet. I finished season 1. I still need to get into season 2.
I bet it's amazing to hear him just turn on that accent, like to go from Scottish to Ozark.
Jacob Snell.
Jacob Snell.
It was pretty interesting. There's another actress that I worked with in season 2. Her name is Janet McTeer,
Okay.
and she is a heavy hitter,
Yeah.
man, in like the world of theater as well as film. If you are Marvel fans and you watched the last season
Yes.
of, she plays Jessica Jones's mother.
Mom? Oh shit. Okay.
That's Janet McTeer. She's an English actress who lives in upstate New York, and I was sitting there with her in the couple of episodes and scenes that we did together, and she'd be like, "Michael, how do I say this word? How do I say Chicago?" I'm like, Chicago.
That's
Chicago.
awesome.
So, yeah, but
Chi-town.
Chicago. Like,
The emphasis on the car.
Sedgwick. How do you say Sedgwick? And all this, and I was like, oh my god, I'm
Sedgwick.
sitting here right now and I'm giving dialect lessons
crazy.
Right.
to Janet McTeer.
Wow.
My life is complete.
That's awesome.
Shoot me. I'm texting all of my grad school colleagues like, you'll never guess who I'm with right now. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
can we film this actually so I can send it to
So-
everybody?
but yeah, it's, I will, just the last thing I'll say to that question is that I have been really, really fortunate enough in my career to never come across that diva.
Right.
Ever. I mean,
Not
everybody,
yet.
but no, I mean, but really, look, everybody that I've worked with, I mean, they've all just been really great. Like, just people hanging out with you. And it's interesting because it's just, I really respect that. And, I could have easily pedestaled Jennifer Aniston.
Sure.
Because it's Jennifer Aniston.
Right.
And my generation, we grew up with Friends. And now
Right.
there's this huge resurgence of Friends 20 years later where it's
Right.
like the hottest show
Oh, it's my daughter's favorite
on
show.
television,
Yeah.
But those of us that grew up in the 80s, we related to those people.
Right.
And it was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in the same room with Jennifer Aniston. And she was the very first day on set, she was like, hey, I'm Jen. Like the first
Damn,
one.
that's so
and there's
cool.
something
Totally
that-
laid back. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I've just been really blessed to I can't pick just one because I have great stories about all of them.
Nice. So
Agreed.
you never met like,
Understandable.
the Christian Bale going off on the cinematographer kind of thing.
No, not yet.
JT,
I have a quick question because I actually got to go.
Oh, yeah,
perform.
yeah.
I forgot
Yeah,
about that. But so for someone who is it's acting is something that I'd like to get into myself. And around here, what would your suggestion be as far as to like how do I get started around here?
Well, to give him just a straight up shout out and plug, there's a guy by the name of Drew Matthews who runs this place called In Studio,
You're the third
which is
person
an
that's
acting
told me about
studio.
him.
I've sat in on a couple of his classes. This guy's no joke. And if you
Okay.
look at his IMDb page, he's got the creds, more than I do, to back up his ability to teach you just an even simple on-camera technique.
Yeah, yeah.
And auditioning and things like that nature. Here, specifically in North Carolina, specifically Greensboro, it's going to be a little tougher to get
Oh, of
started.
course, yeah.
Right.
So the best thing to do is just find out where the classes are. And then also, if you've already got one, go get a camera and start making your own content. And learning from that. But no,
already
seriously,
on that.
I would suggest like the 48-hour film festival.
Okay.
Get a crew together and make one of those films. If you've never done it before, it's ridiculously amazing and
I've got
crazy.
ideas for days.
And then go get a book. I can a couple of books that I
What
can
are
recommend. There's a great book that I would recommend for a first time start out in film and television. It's called Action. Book's just called Action.
Perfect.
Acting for Film and Television.
Okay.
Written by the guy named of Robert Bendetti. Benedetti. Don't quote me to it. Sorry. Don't.
Benedetti.
We'll fact check that after
We'll
the show.
figure it out. But yeah, I really would start with Drew's class.
Okay,
and that's
cool.
I know you've heard it. So if I would
Yeah.
say if you've heard it 3 other times,
that's
that's where to go.
I should probably listen to people.
You know. Yeah.
I'm gonna listen this time.
There you go. There you go.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
We want to take the opportunity to shout out one of our sponsors, Gate City Growlers. They have 20 taps. They specialize in small North Carolina breweries and specialty craft beers. Working with the little guys since 2015. Guys, please stay local. Take care of the local shops.
All right, we're back after that quick little sponsor spot. With jtimber had to go perform, so we have Natalie Garcia in the studio with us.
Hello.
From Yes Weekly fame, your local photographer around here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So, do you have any questions for Michael?
Okay. I'm going to be kind of basic here. Can you tell me the craziest Hollywood story that you've experienced?
Me personally?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that it was. It's got to be on the very first. I was in this series called Banshee that was on Cinemax, and we were. The very first day of shooting was a fight scene that involved myself and 2 of the other actors that played my brother and the star of this series.
Okay.
And there was a moment where they were all this choreography and blah, 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 and without sort of trying to get, too rambly, which I have a tendency to do, one of the guys that played my brother came up too soon from one of the wrestling holds and hit the star of the show square on the chin.
Wow.
And he bit through his lip.
Oh, shit.
And it was the first day of shooting.
No!
Like the very first day. And and they're
Wow.
getting ready to shoot an entire series, and it's
Right.
the very first day. And production shut down.
Wow.
For like 6 hours while they iced it. And then the 3 of us are sitting over, and we're fighting in this river, and it's sandy, and it's cold, and it's just outside of Charlotte.
Right.
And we're sitting in this warming tent, and we're all literally just sitting there shivering, in our minds packing our car.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're all just been fired
We're out
Yeah.
of here.
from this show that we have a presence in through the entire season 1
Right.
of, and we're like, okay, we're going home. We're done.
Wow.
We're fired.
Holy
Wow,
shit.
that's
We're going
crazy.
home. That's it. That's my only crazy story I have.
For now.
That's still pretty good, though.
For now.
And good question,
For now.
Natalie.
Yeah. I wish I had more dirt. Like I could tell you that somebody did this and somebody did that, but
Well, can I ask
no,
another one? I have
pretty
another
low key.
Do you plan on staying in Greensboro, or do you think you'll ever head to LA or?
Greensboro is home.
Okay.
Greensboro is home.
Love it.
I mean,
Love it
right now,
too.
right?
You'll go to the work.
I will definitely go to the work. Yes,
Yeah.
I go to the work in New York. I go to the work in Atlanta all the time.
Okay.
I have representation sort of spread out over this country that helps me seek out the work elsewhere.
Fantastic.
Right.
But yes, right now, North Carolina, our taproot of that North Carolina linden tree has sunk its way deep.
That's
13
awesome.
years. I've been here 13 years.
Wow.
So
Love it.
yeah.
Good to know.
That's awesome.
Tar
That's
Heel
awesome.
Strong or
There you
Blue
go.
Devil Strong.
Or
Wolfpack Strong.
Wolfpack,
That's
please.
another
Wolfpack.
episode.
It is, right?
That's
Yes.
a whole nother.
I don't,
whole
and I
nother
have
episode.
a story about that too, but I won't bore you with it for this one.
It's all good, man. So just, what do you have coming up in the works? I know you got a couple other films coming out. You're doing some stuff in Greensboro. Tell us what's next for...
Yeah. Well, immediately next, like starting on Sunday, I start rehearsals for a play. I'm directing a play. It's my directorial debut.
I like it.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous. I really am. I won't lie. I've never directed a play in my entire life. As an actor, I'm very narcissistic, and it's all about how do I fit in the world. And
Right.
I only care about me and how
Right.
I fit in the world. Well, now I have
You
to
gotta
figure
deal with
out
these people,
how
man.
everybody fits in the world. But yeah, I'm directing this play called Lobby Hero.
Okay.
Which just closed on Broadway. They did a great revival of it. It's written by Kevin Lonergan, who wrote Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, shit.
nice.
He's a brilliant, very prolific playwright. 4 people set in a small, sort of lower expense apartment building in New York. And it's just, the brilliant thing about really good theatrical literature is no matter when it's written, the themes will always reflect.
Right.
And right now, with the Me Too movement, and especially with sort of the brutality issues and Black Lives Matters,
Right.
this show could not be more prevalent than it was 17 years ago when it was written and produced originally.
Wow.
I love working with college kids, and I love working with young theater artists and sort of nurturing their passion
Yeah.
as they
hungry.
want to
Yeah,
grow.
that's what I was going to say. They're hungry.
So that starts Sunday. The show will go up and run at Greensboro College, Guilford College, all the time. The Quakers. I'm going to go work for the Quakers. The show will run the first weekend of October.
Okay.
Forgive me for not knowing those dates. So there's that, and then September 28th. A slasher film comes out called Hellfest.
Yes, I saw the preview for it.
Welcome to Hellfest.
And you're in the preview, too, which is awesome.
I'm in the preview. I'm a GIF. They've gifted me again. I'm the gift.
You know
that
you
keeps
made it when
on-
you were
Yes,
You must feel honored.
I am. There's that. And then I got to tell you what I'm really excited about is sometime next year, there's going to be a movie coming out called Boss Level.
Gotcha.
Which was written and directed by Joe Carnahan, starring Frank Grillo, Naomi Watts, Mel Gibson.
Wow.
Rob Gronkowski's in it.
Okay.
I got to spend time with, and I had no idea at the time, but I got to spend time with Rashad Evans and Quentin Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
were
wow.
MMA
UFC fame.
people.
Yeah.
But it's just this really crazy, brilliant movie about a sort of a father who's just sort of become disassociated with life and then reconnects with his son. But the crazy thing about it is that the title Boss Level leads to what the film is about, and it's that sort of rooted in that thematic idea of, those video games we played when we were kids, like 18-bit, where you'd fight, and then you'd fight the guy,
Right.
and then you'd fight some more, and you'd fight the next boss, but if you died, you'd just go back and start over.
Right.
So that's what this movie is. It's kind of like Groundhog's Day meets Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
it's crazy. So Frank Grillo is this dad, and he's down and out, and his wife does this thing to him in this machine, and it's just this constant repetition of, and he grows farther and farther through the game, but the whole time he realizes that all that was really important to him was his family and
Right.
and getting reconnected with his son, and it's
Damn,
just
that's awesome.
It's like it was. I mean, filming that movie with those guys and those people, right? That people that run War Party Films, and they're just, it's just like hanging out with, for lack of a better phrase, your fraternity brothers making a
Right.
movie. They're just good people that want to hang out and have a good time and make a good product. So that comes out next year sometime, and that's it. And then I'm working on another project right now. Hence my midlife crisis year beard.
It's looking good, though.
As I stroke it, I was like, wait, we're on a podcast. You can't see my face. Look at the pictures that I can't tell you about. But when it comes out, I'll tell you about it.
No spoilers this episode. This is one of the spoiler-free
I
episodes.
gotta tell you, it's crazy.
Fine then.
But they look, the level of NDAs going out.
No, I'm sure,
I'll
man.
leave you with one quick story.
Holy shit.
And it all started with this show called Army Wives.
Okay.
Years ago, the show was called On Army Wives, and as the Southeast market was starting to sort of pick up in its root in the film and television industry, there was a show filmed in Savannah called Army Wives,
Yeah.
and somebody, I don't know who this actor was, but I would love to meet them, thought it would be a good idea if they posted their audition, not even their time on the play
Sure.
or their movie, their audition video on social media, and it happened to be like this major spoiler of the entire
of course.
series, not just the season, but the series. And the whole show got sort of thrown into loops by it. So now shows are like, they're not messing around with
Right.
it.
Yeah.
They
Right.
make you sign NDAs. You can't talk about anything. When I audition for stuff, I'll get a dummy side. I've auditioned for, this is embarrassing to admit, I've auditioned for The Walking Dead probably 25 times
Wow.
in my career since I've lived here in North Carolina. Haven't booked it yet. I will soon.
Soon.
But
Please. Book this man.
In that time, I think I've probably used the same sides 6 times.
Damn.
They just send me the same sides because
Right.
it's about, they're not going to send you any story stuff
Right.
because they don't want it leaking out. So
Right.
all that to be said, I've got a movie. I'm working on a movie right now. I will say this about it. It's probably the first project that I'll have been able to do in my career that both my daughter and my grandmother can see in the same setting. My grandmother, my 93-year-old grandmother yells at me all the time. She's like, I can't ever see you in a show, baby. Because there's all that cussing and fighting and people getting naked. And I'm like, well, Grandma, it's just paying the bills.
Oh,
So,
shit. Before,
I didn't get naked.
No.
Before we wrap up, I have to give a quick shout out to Matthew, who's supposed to be on the show. And one of the reasons I got hooked on the show, it's rare when you see a show and you get hooked on the first episode. And Ozark definitely did that to me.
Oh, they got
but,
us.
Jason Bateman's line when I think it might have been episode 2 by then, when he was like, the sound of your lover slapping the pavement is the only thing that puts me to sleep at night. It's probably the most cold-blooded shit I have ever heard in my entire life. After
Yes.
he said that, I was like, I love this show.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's a credit to the writers, too. Chris
Yeah.
Mundy, executive producer, showrunner, and head writer Chris
Brilliant.
Mundy and his team.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I will tell you, episode 1, Bruce Allman, I think is the character's name that plays Laura Linney's lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was sitting behind me during the premiere, and I don't think he'd seen the footage yet of when his character
Yeah.
falls and hits the pavement, and there's just that great, and the way that shoe explodes off of
Yes.
that. And you don't
Yes.
expect it, right? Because
Yeah.
he's just walking down the street.
Yeah.
It's framed
He's
really
sitting there just
beautifully.
bitching to himself.
And it's just boom.
Yeah.
And from behind me, you go, oh. And I was like, oh my God, this guy just witnessed himself being thrown from a 90-story building.
Right.
It affected him.
Oh, it did. And I was just like, oh, I'm really sorry.
Hey, but you're good now,
I'm
man.
really sorry. Yeah, so I wish I had
No
your
worse for
career,
wear.
but you're dead.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us. For fans out there, what's the best way to reach you as far as social media, website?
Michael Tourek at Michael Tourek, Tourek, covers pretty much all of it. It's Twitter, Instagram. That's all I really have. There's a Michael Tourek actor page that you can go and like, and if you mistakenly ask to be my friend, I'll probably be your friend. So,
I think I did that.
he seems
Before I got him on the show. He seems okay.
But yes, Michael Tourek will get you to wherever you need to be. There might be a YouTube page out there with some footage and some videos and some reels and stuff like that. So
Awesome, man.
come find me.
Well, thank you again for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having
That's
me.
going to wrap it up for this episode of Multipoptural. Roll the end credits, and good stuff.
Keep watching.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome, man.
Be sure to check out our website, www.multipoptural, as well as on social media at Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, and Twitter.
Yes! Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.
A big thank you to one of our sponsors, Jeff Beal, and his team at Throwback Custom Cars in Raleigh, North Carolina. For over 30 years, they have specialized in classic car restoration as well as residential/commercial automation technology and audio-video systems. There is no project too big or too small, and they work all across the U.S. To set up a consultation, contact Jeff at 919-235-8337 or go to throwbackcustomcars.com and fill out the contact